So, in a large mixing bowl we add 450 millilitres of whipping cream. You can easily buy double cream from your local supermarket. And whisk away until it's nice and light and fluffy. If you use an electric whisk, that would obviously save you some time. Now we melt 200 grams of dark chocolate buttons and add 2 egg yolks, 50 grams of sugar and 30 millilitres of water to another bowl. Whisk that up nicely. Now we're going to put that over a pan of boiling water. While it's heating up, we're going to keep stirring it, keep whisking away till it's nice and glossy and starts to thicken. Once it's the desired consistency, we can remove it from the heat. And we're going to pour in our melted dark chocolate. Liking the look of this already. Now we're going to stir that up nicely. Obviously we want it to be very well mixed. You can use a hand whisk for this part. And all we need to do now is add our whipped cream to the mixture. We're going to add it in a dollop at a time and mix. Now, how chocolatey and how dark you want your mousse is entirely up to you. It depends on how rich you like it. We've made it a nice light mousse because we like it quite creamy. The choice is yours. So we're adding in our cream bit by bit and it's all going in there, 450 millilitres of it. Time to give it one last stir. And voila, chocolate mousse. Now all we have to do is find a way to serve it. So we're going to add that to a food piping bag. We can experiment with the nozzles on these if we want to make different patterns. Let's melt some dark chocolate buttons. We're going to pour that into our silicone cupcake moulds. So we're going to pour that in to fill about 1/3 of our cupcake mould, and we're going to swish it around to cover the inside. Now you can see where we're going with this. This is going to make our chocolate cupcake moulds. Yes, so we're going to refrigerate those so they can set. Once they're set, we gently remove the silicone mould from the outside and we're left with an edible mousse cup. Delicious. So, time to add our mousse. We're going to use a straight nozzle for this one and swirl it around. And you can sprinkle decorations on top. We're using chocolate sprinkles here. And why not even add a little bit of fruit? How about a strawberry? Look at that, a party showstopper. Now, if you want to experiment, you can try using different shaped moulds. So we melt some more chocolate and this time we're using heart shapes. That's right, why not celebrate your loved ones or even for Valentine's Day? So exactly the same process. We're going to swish it around to cover the inside of our mould all the way up to the rim. Be very careful not to spill it over the edges. And then we refrigerate those so that they set. Gently remove our silicone heart moulds and we're left with just the chocolate ones. Let's use a different shape nozzle for this one. Being creative, you can really use any shape you like. Whatever you think looks good, really. Now let's use some heart sprinkles. Yes, why not add to the heart theme? And how about some different fruit? How about some raspberries this time? Look at that, perfect. So you can really go crazy with this idea. Every time just melting dark chocolate, filling your mould. How about even just using a plastic cup? We don't even need silicone moulds. If they're not easy for you to find and you don't have them kicking around the cupboard, you can just get a simple plastic cup. That's right. So going to take a bit longer here to make our mould because it's obviously much deeper than our cupcake holders. So in the same way, we're going to put those in the fridge to set the chocolate. Do you know how to get the chocolate out? Well, all you do is tip the cup upside down. Yes, it really is that simple. These are very deep, so we're going to use a very large nozzle on our food piping bag this time so we can fill them easily and quickly. You can really have fun with these. You can do any shapes you like. You can use any fruit you like. Let's add raspberries and blueberries. Give it a nice bit of colour. And there you have a delicious dessert in no time at all. All you need is is a basic chocolate cake. You can buy it ready-made from the supermarket or even pre-bake it yourself. We're going to fill it with buttercream chocolate flavoured icing. Then we're going to layer it a few times and cover the entire cake with our buttercream icing. We can use a nice piece of plastic to smooth it down along the sides and on the top. Now we're going to melt some dark chocolate buttons and we're going to pour that onto, yes, you saw right, it's bubble wrap. A fantastic and creative way of making a really cool pattern that has been cut to size to fit around the outside of our cake. So once that's set, we wrap it all the way around. And then it's time to carefully peel away the bubble wrap. And we're left with a beautiful, bubbly pattern on our chocolate. Some juicy strawberries, a sprinkling of blueberries, and some cherries, maybe even a few raspberries as well. We're going to fill the top of our cake with beautiful colours and some mint leaves for a touch of green. Look at that. Absolutely delicious. And it's a work of art. And it really was that easy. Cake, buttercream, bubble wrap, and berries. Super simple. Choco-berrylicious. All you need is a glass bowl with 320 grams of condensed milk. Stick that in the microwave for 30 seconds. We're going to add 80 grams of cocoa powder to that, sprinkling it in through a sieve so that we get a nice smooth mixture once it's all stirred together. Now this is going to be poured into a container which is coated in cling film. It's very important that with our two ingredients we choose the best quality ingredients. This will make a huge difference to the flavour. Now once that's all in, we're going to stick that in the refrigerator for 1 hour. Meanwhile, get our glass bowl, add 200 grams of condensed milk this time, stick it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and 100 grams of cocoa powder is going into this one. So we can play around with the consistency of our truffles if we want it to be slightly gooey in the middle or we want it to be a bit firmer. We're going to add this in gradually, a bit at a time. This mixture is going to be a lot thicker than the last one, so no need to refrigerate this one. I'm going to stir that in until it's a sort of dough-like consistency. You can, of course, use a big sieve. Now once this is mixed together, we're going to put it on some cling film, which has been laid out on a chopping board. We're going to fold that over and squish it down. Put that aside and sprinkle some more cocoa powder onto our chopping board. Out comes our ganache. We're going to stick that onto the cocoa powder and then sprinkle some more over the top. Cocoa powder is our best friend in this recipe, so we're going to slice that into pieces. And now it's time to roll it up into little balls. We recommend wearing food preparation gloves for this part of the recipe, as it can get rather messy. Now why not coat that with some more cocoa powder, making sure it's completely covered before we put it on our serving plate. Absolutely beautiful. Now we're going to coat our chopping board in another layer of cocoa powder and remove our previous ganache from the refrigerator. Easy to peel off the cling film a bit at a time whilst adding a sprinkle of cocoa powder on top. We can be generous with this. Now we're going to slice this into squares. Pick them up one by one and then just squish the sides, making sure it's a perfect square shape, and coat that in cocoa powder, ready for our serving plate. Now you can just use cocoa powder, or you can try different things. You can try sprinkles, hundreds and thousands, even chocolate shavings for an absolutely beautiful and simple dessert. Look at that. All you need is an ice cube tray and some sticks. Put one in each tray, add water, and then freeze. Once frozen, we're going to dip each of these in melted chocolate. And when the chocolate is set, we're going to remove the ice cube. Now, time to make our filling. 200 millilitres of whipping cream, add that to a bowl and whisk away till thickened. Now to that we're going to add 100 grams of icing sugar, and mix that in. Next, we're going to add 250 grams of mascarpone cheese and then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract to give it a lovely flavour. And then we have our cream cheese filling. Stir that together nicely. Now, we're going to add a little bit of a ladyfinger and some espresso coffee on top of that and squirt our cream cheese filling on top of that, a sprinkle of cocoa powder, a coffee bean and a sprig of mint and a chocolate bar. And there you have it. Next, we're going to add green tea spread 80 grams, 100 millilitres of almond milk to a bowl, mix them together nicely, add 150 millilitres of whipping cream to that, whisk till thickened. Using a patterned nozzle, we're going to squirt that into our chocolate bowl, add pistachios and a marshmallow. Super easy, right? Third filling, 100 grams of strawberry jam, 80 grams of cream cheese, whisk away. Add some fresh cut up strawberries and squirt our cream on top of that. Maybe grate some chocolate and a fresh strawberry to finish. 3 super easy variations of chocolate ice cube cups.